Hi, I'm Sam from Branded Threads, and today I'm going to teach you how to coat a screen. Step one, pretty much always, gloves. I'm going to give you a little rundown of what a screen room should look like. This is mine that I use every day. So after we reclaim everything and the screens are dried, we're actually going to bring it in here because this is going to be a dust-free environment. So we're not going to get any of those like pinholes that aren't necessary. So we're going to store the screens here. This is before we're going to coat, and these are the screens that we're actually going to be coating today. And then once they're coated, they come, well, we dry them and then they come to this rack, and this is where they're stored. I put them in order of mesh count just to help when it comes to actually exposing them. You just are gonna pull the right one. Each of them are labeled. And about every, I would say like 3 reclaims, I'm checking the Newton levels on those and marking that on the screen as well. From there, we go to our exposure unit, which is sitting on top of a dry box. This is something that you put your screens in and then you turn on, and there's a fan that's gonna blow in there and dry them faster. From the exposure unit, we're gonna take them over here. This is where we rinse them out, and then we put them here to dry and then onto the press. Okay, the things that you're gonna need to coat a screen are gonna be a screen. You're gonna need some sort of spatula. I recommend a rubber one. Any one that you can use on food is gonna be the easiest to clean, so that's what I purchased. You're gonna need your scoop coater, and you're gonna need some emulsion. The emulsion that I use is the Kiwo Multitex in red, even though it appears pink, the color is red. This does not need the diazo mixed in. This is a photopolymer, so it's good to go right out of the container. You open it up, stir it up, fill up your scoop coater, and you're good to coat. Okay, so as you can see from my floor, this is the scoop coating area that I do it at. I'm gonna show you how to do it this way. This is the way that I first started doing it and the way that I'm still doing it now until my semi-automatic scoop coater actually comes Friday. But this is perfect timing for the video. So this is literally how I started and how I'm still doing it. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, it's very important for it to be a dust-free environment. I'm confident that this area is dust-free, but still you should give a little bit of a visual inspection to your screen. Just kind of see if there's any little pieces of emulsion or pinholes that you missed from your reclaim. So give it a quick visual inspection and make sure that your screen is all the way dry, including the frame. We don't want it to be wet. Any wetness on the screen is not going to allow for a proper coating of emulsion. And then secondly, we're going to do a visual inspection on our scoop coater. We're just checking for any burrs or nicks on the edges, because if we do have that, it can either rip the screen or give a heavy emulsion deposit on the screen, which we don't want. So, and the way to do that is just actually visually look at it and rub your finger along it, and you'll feel if there are any nicks or burrs on it. So once we do the inspection and it passes it, we're going to open up our emulsion. Now we're gonna stir, get the excess off the spatula, and now we're gonna fill the scoop coater up about halfway. So you just wanna go from side to side like that. And give it a twist. Now you're gonna have little bubbles in there. I just take my spatula and run it along, and that's actually gonna get rid of the bubbles. Today we're gonna be coating an automatic screen, which is a 23 by 31. The exact same process goes for a 20 by 24. The only difference is the size of your scoop coater. So this is the scoop coater for my automatic press, the 23 by 31. What we're gonna do is we're gonna give the screen a little bit of a lean. We don't want it upright, and we don't want it at like a 45-degree angle. We're just gonna give it a slight angle. We're gonna grab our scoop coater. Now this is important. We wanna really balance it in our hand. We don't want it too heavy this side, one way or another. So we're gonna give it nice even pressure in the middle. There are 2 sides on a scoop coater. You have your sharp side and you have your blunt side. For me, I use 2 coats of the sharp side on the print side of the screen. So what that means, this is the print side of your screen and this is the squeegee side of your screen. So we're gonna start always on the print side of the screen. Now once we have the lean, we're gonna take the scoop coater and we're going to put it up against the screen. We're gonna allow the emulsion to come to the edge of the scoop coater until it meets the screen, and then at that point we're gonna pull up. And when we pull, there are 2 things that we really want to pay attention to. We wanna make sure that we're keeping the same pressure, and we want to make sure that we're maintaining the same speed the whole time. So what that looks like, we're gonna lean it up against there, like I said. So you see how none of the emulsion has touched the screen yet? We're gonna lean it up at the bottom, and then as soon as it touches, Now we're gonna come up. Now we lean the screen back about a little under an inch from the top. We're gonna lean it back and then pull to the top. And then that's gonna take it to the edge. And then we're gonna repeat the same process on the print side. Lean it up, pull to the top. And now that side is done. Now, when we flip it over to coat the other side, we wanna make sure that we're pulling in the opposite direction. So what that means is everything, all the emulsion was pulled up this way, so when we flip it, we want the emulsion to be pulled up the other way, and that's gonna kind of help lock that mesh in better, and that's gonna eliminate pinholes and just give us an all-around better coating. So what that means, we take it up, flip it right around. Now we're gonna repeat the exact same process, but just one coat on the squeegee side. And now that screen has been coated. We're gonna put it in our drying rack and turn the fan on. Again, this is why you wanna kind of make sure that you're using a dark room, because it's gonna eliminate the dust, where if this is out in the shop and we're printing and running production, dust is gonna pile into that and the screen is gonna be worthless. But in here, after thousands of screens that we've ran, we're really successful with a dust-free environment. And I also will say it's very important to keep our humidity maintained. I do recommend adding a dehumidifier. You can pick one up for under $200. And you wanna keep it at about 35% humidity. And you'd like the room to be a little bit warmer. I think right now we're about at that 80-degree range. If you can stay between like 80 and 90 degrees, that is ideal with 35% humidity. And I'm actually gonna coat one more screen just to show you what it looks like if you're doing it without stopping and talking. Okay, now we have our screens drying, and a very important part of this is the way that you're gonna orient the screen to dry. You want the print side down. So gravity is gonna take place, as it always does, and it's gonna pull that emulsion down. We would rather have the thicker side of our emulsion on the print side opposed to the squeegee side. So we always store it this way after we coat the screens. And also, this is why it's so important in the reclaim process to clean the frames of your screen, because if not, you're gonna get ink all over your hands and the scoop coater, and it just makes a mess. So that's very important in the reclaim process, and it makes our lives a lot easier when it comes to actually coating the screens. Once we're done coating the screens, before the emulsion gets dry, that's very important, we're going to put it back into our bucket so we can use it later. So what we do is we just take our spatula and scrape that emulsion right back into the bucket. We're trying to get as much as we can. If anything is dried up or there's any like dust or crusty stuff in there, we don't want that back in our emulsion. But if it's still wet and viable, we're definitely gonna put it back into the bucket. And you wanna really make sure that the edge of your bucket doesn't have any dried emulsion on it, because it's not gonna allow a proper seal. And if the seal is broken, then the emulsion is gonna dry up and you're gonna waste your money. So make sure, take the 30 seconds that it takes, not even, 10 seconds that it takes, make sure that the edge is clean, get a t-shirt if you have to, a rag, whatever you have to do, but make sure that we get a nice seal on this emulsion before we put it back. And also, store it back in what it came in. Don't put this in like an ink bucket that's clear, or anything that's gonna allow light in, because if it does, it's gonna expose it and it's no longer gonna be viable. A quick note is that I do use UV safe bulb lights, which are like bug lights in here, so that I'm not allowing any light contamination that's going to prematurely expose my screen. Now we come out to our reclaim and we're going to just pressure off our spatula and our scoop coater. You don't need any special chemicals, you don't need any scrub brushes. If you go quick enough, you just spray it and you allow it to dry. So quickly. Just spray it off, it's good as new. Now we do the same for the scoop coater. You want to be really thorough with this cleaning, and after you're done, no matter how clean that you think that you got it, you want to take your fingers, I do it first with my fingers, and just run it along the edges. That's going to get any dried up emulsion off. And then after I do that part, then I grab a t-shirt and I just do the exact same thing. I just rub it along those edges, make sure that they're nice and clean for the next time that we go to coat some screens. So that's a quick tutorial on how you coat screens. That's going to be the same process whether it's your first time ever printing or you're running, in my case, like 30 screens a day on an auto. It's the exact same process. And thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, that'd be nice, and subscribe to this channel. Follow on Instagram, Branded Threads Shop. Check out the website, brandedthreads.com, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.